Hey guys, it's Perry. I hope you all are having a good weekend. Today's actually International Podcast Day. I didn't know that was an actual holiday until I saw it on Twitter. So I thought, hey, I'll tweet at some of my favorite podcasts and wishing them an International Podcast Day. The Moth actually liked my status, and that was kind of surprising. I didn't think I would ever get one back from those guys, but hey, you should check them out. And that's not an ad. But today, you're going to be listening to Mr. Complete Random's in my conversation that recorded earlier this week. I just didn't have time to post it. A lot going on with work, and yeah. So I figured this was the best time, and I just wanted to go say, if you guys like the podcast, please leave a review. It gives me an idea of what you guys think and what you would like to see the show go and how we can grow from it. And it's just a way for me to interact with you guys, because requests could be made and I can see your changes that you would want me to do. But otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoy this conversation. Oh, yeah. I also want you guys to know that the audio is kind of a bit weary at times, and that's because our internet connection kept going out. We did it over a Google Hangout, and there's at times like you'll hear echoes, and you'll hear me say like, well, could you please repeat that? Well, he had to repeat it, and I'm glad that he was able to do it, and we were able to talk for an hour and a half, as you can see still. So I want to thank Mr. Complete Random for coming onto the show again. I'm sorry that this couldn't come out sooner, but there'll be more content after this, guys. But I wanted you to hear this conversation between me and him. You should really go check out his YouTube channel. It is pretty interesting for being an anime YouTubing page, but I think you guys will like it, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Word of Influence. And we will see you guys soon. And just like I said, just leave a review. It's on iTunes and YouTube and any of your podcast directories. Thanks, guys. Enjoy this. I mean, I guess. Can we call you late for breakfast? No.
Sure. Sure.
Welcome to A Word of Influence, episode 22. I'm your host, Perry, and I have a special guest with me like normal. We're going to call him Random. How you doing tonight, bro?
What's up, guys?
Not much, just chilling. We just had some funny jokes before we started. Well, as you guys know, this podcast is about how video games, literature, or music can help influence us in some way. And if you're watching this live right now, you can see that Random's picture is Yusuke Urameshi. So we're just going to go ahead and dive in with that with you first, bro. What is your favorite anime, and how has it influenced you?
Oh man, you're gonna ask me that question.
Yeah,
I don't have a favorite. I mean, I do like Yu Yu Hakusho. Yes, it is one of my favorites, but I don't have one specific favorite.
What would you recommend to somebody then, if that makes sense? Like, if they just know enter the anime world, just enter the anime world, what would you give them?
If you're starting off with anime, you want to give them an anime that's not too long. You want to give them an anime that has a lot of diverse characters and is not too extreme, whether it's too gory, bloody, or it's too on the borderline of being 18 plus. You want it to be kind of as tame as you possibly can be to get them hooked, and then you start introducing them to other ones. So one of the anime I recommend to
I think he might be having technical difficulties. He must have cut out, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. With that, I get what he's saying.
All
It's
right, can you
more.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, it probably just cut out real quick.
Oh, you're fine. Go for it. Over the internet problems.
No, I was saying how which part did it cut out at?
Over 18.
Oh, yeah, so over 18, anything like that, you want it to be more tame. And the way you go ahead and you do that is by starting off with an anime like on High School Host Club.
Like what?
Or on High School Host Club.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That one's actually a really good one and straight to the point, slice of life kind of thing.
It's funny. It has a little bit of romance in it. It's not too extreme. It has a lot of characters that many people enjoy. And it's only, I think, 26 or 28 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
which is not long at all. Never start off a long anime. Don't tell people to start off with Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Fairy Tail. Those are at least 100 episodes, if not a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
Naruto, just
I'm surprised you didn't say like Fruits Basket then, because that's one of my favorite all time. So
Fruits Basket is another good one. However, you want to get them into a little bit of a mainstream anime just to get them exposed and allow them to experience what anime is. And because you're giving them an anime that's more mainstream, they have a better chance of liking it because a lot of other people like it.
mm, mm. You like
Fruits
I want.
Basket
Go ahead.
Fruits Basket is one of those anime where you talk about, and then some people it's more hush now. It's a lot more quiet now. Not many people talk about it.
Mm, that's interesting because I would think that the slice of life theme is what keeps a lot of people watching it nowadays. Because, like, of course, we have our Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece, but like, just to step away from it, you would think that would be the first recommendations.
Right. And imagine one of your friends who is not into anime but is willing to give it a shot, and you say, "Hey, why don't you watch One Piece? It's already up over 600 episodes. Good luck." And by the way,
Oh,
they're still making a lot more episodes.
yeah, you
And
don't
they're like,
understand how
"No,
much that felt like. Like overcoming One Piece was like, oh my god, I just feel like I overcame like a marathon or some shit.
it's a lot." And let's say it's just to give a nice number, 600. And let's just pretend you skip
Like
the intros,
episodes,
the outros. Right. There's a lot more than that, but
like I was
I'm just saying 600 so I could do easy math, right? So 600 episodes, let's say each episode is only 20 minutes. That includes
cool, cool,
or
cool.
excludes getting rid of
I'm looking it up just to
the,
make sure.
right, what you find.
Filler and not
Did
understanding
you?
exactly what's going on. But I think his mic cut out again, guys. Sorry for that. Just over the issues. I'm pretty sure, like you're saying,
Yeah. Well, I was saying how um
but
did you find out how many episodes it was
mm,
about? I know it's a hell of a lot.
you're saying,
I said, did you find out how many episodes it was?
oh my bad, you cut out. So I was like, it's okay, man. I am looking right now. Do. But I think it's like around 700.
700 episodes.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm looking up right now. So I think
Right?
700 episodes.
Each episode will give it 20 minutes, okay?
20 minutes, yeah.
That's round about how long they last. That means that if you stop, you have to watch for 14,000 minutes. Now, we're going to divide that into hours. That's 233 hours straight through. No breaks, no nothing. Now, let's say how many days. That's going to be...
Let's see. You can't...
About 10 days straight. No breaks, no sleep, nothing. That's how long it would take you to catch up. Episodes get made.
Yeah, and nobody ain't got time for that. And that's the thing, though, with me. I actually came off the anime and just read straight manga now because it's like me being like an English major. I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by not reading it instead of watching it. But you get what I'm saying? So it's like I'd rather read it and not watch it. So it just came to that point because I watched all of Dragon Ball growing up. So that's like, what, 500 episodes in itself? Not including the movies as well.
Each arc had about, I think, well, Dragon Ball had about 200 some episodes. Dragon Ball Z had multi-arcs.
You see, that's the thing with me,
Frieza
though.
arc.
With me, I call Dragon Ball the whole entire thing. So Dragon Ball. So.
Oh, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's just Dragon Ball to me. Just because it's the first.
Yeah, there's definitely I think over 600 episodes or so. If you're doing it that way.
Yeah. So what are you currently watching right now?
Right now, I'm finishing up Boku no Hero.
My Hero Academia.
Academia, yep. I'm also trying to catch up. I haven't finished. I've seen the majority of season 2, but I need to finish Attack on Titan. I just need to watch, like, however many more episodes are left.
Okay. That's good. What about that show makes you want to watch more of it? Because when I, like, just from the first volumes that I've read of it, it feels very Naruto-like.
Ninjas and being diverse and different, overcoming obstacles, and
now
what?
I was saying, like, now how, like, it feels very Naruto-like, but it's not, like you said, ninjas and being very diverse. How can I say it? Do you see anything influential in that series that you couldn't think of? Because like it's pretty much like a top 5 right now.
In Attack on Titan?
Top 500, you're saying?
In what? In Attack on Titan?
No. I'm talking about like My Hero Academia.
Oh, well.
I was saying, how is that more like? Do you see anything influential in that series?
Yes.
What do you see?
Have you watched it? Yes.
I've read it, so we're good.
Okay, you read it. You have the different groups, the different characters, and without really giving too much away, the groups of characters share commonalities between each other.
Okay.
And comparing that with Naruto, it's you do have some similarities, but I feel it's a lot different. It's about these battles. It's about these overcoming hardships, and it's not these missions and doing all of these uh, what's the best word to describe it? To have these tasks that are seemingly impossible in Naruto, and then taking on those tasks versus My Hero, where the plot goes in a different direction than that. That's
Hmm.
how I kind of see it.
Okay. Now, seeing how it's one of the fresher series, would you recommend someone new to it or no? Like new to anime?
It's a good start. My only concern is with any new series, whether we're talking about anime or we're talking about a video game or we're talking about a TV show or a movie, if it's new, there are spoilers everywhere. And if you are the type of person where you do not want anything spoiled, you want it fresh and new, start a series that has been out for a little while where things kind of cleared away. And as long as you're not looking for the spoilers don't really exist right there out in front of you.
So, so you're pretty like. Do you personally try to stay away from spoilers and like in anything you watch or read, or you get what I'm saying? Like some
Because
people like. Hmm,
because of my connections and what I deal with on daily on my Twitter account, I get spoilers all day long about many different anime.
oh, so what do you
However,
actually do?
however, since I've watched a lot of those anime already, it's hard for something to get spoiled for me.
So what do you actually do on your Twitter or like your YouTube channel? Because you're a YouTuber yourself. So.
Right. Well, I post a lot of anime related stuff. That's more of the focus of the channel. I'm trying to do some other stuff, vlogs, um, doing different videos, things, mainly focusing on anime because that's what a lot of my followers like, and that's a big trend for YouTube is anime. You look at anybody's profiles, any famous person, and you go through the comments section, commenters have a photo of an anime character.
Hmm. That's interesting.
That's that's where a big market is for YouTube is anime.
Hmm. That's interesting because about 10 years ago or so, I would say, because we're like fairly young. I don't like I'm 26 and you're what? I'm gonna say
27.
27? Oh, you're older than me. Like so us growing up, it wasn't as big as it is now. You can see a difference. Well, at least in the area from where I'm from, but it's probably would you say it's better than it was back then, 10 years ago?
Anime had its peaks. Anime, when our parents were growing up, Astro Boy, Voltron, and Speed Racer, and a few other anime of that nature. Those were 80s, 70s, and before. Then you have our generation who started in the 90s with Toonami.
Hmm.
That's how we got introduced. I don't know of anybody who is right around our age who started up anime in a different fashion, unless they lived in another country and they had it broadcasted through another way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But with that,
America, go ahead.
I said, with that being said, though, do you try to stay away from dubbed anime?
I watch I watch dub and I watch sub.
Oh, okay.
I
So you're back and
I
forth.
watch I watch dub when it comes to the voice actors that I like doing a specific character, and I watch a lot of sub when an anime is being simulcasted to watch it before the dub comes out.
Mm.
When the anime is out and it's new, more likely than not, it is sub where you gotta watch it with the subtitles. But there are a lot of anime that have been out for a long time that I've watched dub and sub.
Mm.
There's some subtle differences. There's also obviously different voices. It's mainly a preference. A lot of people hate dub,
Yeah,
but
a lot of people hate dubbed. And I understand where they're coming from because it's like you look at Goku, like his Japanese way, and you look at the English one, and like they're just two completely different Gokus. Like just two completely different Gokus, along with Luffy, and it's like, okay, I prefer this one over this one, but that's just me. I don't know if you feel that same
you
way
can
too when you watch those animes.
you can also look at it this way. Subtitles take away from the animation. And what I mean by that is subtitles to pay attention to when you do not understand the language. It doesn't necessarily even have to be anime, where it's in Japanese and you're trying to pay attention to it, but you don't understand Japanese. You have to read English words. You have to read the subtitles. Same thing if you're turn on the Spanish channel and you see it, going on, and you're like, "What the heck is this?" And if you don't speak Spanish, then you have to read the subtitles, and you're constantly looking down at the bottom of the screen instead of looking up where all the action, where all the stuff is going on. And a lot of people go, "Oh, it's not as authentic when you dub over the voices." But at the same token, if you're watching it in dub, now you're paying attention to it in your own native language, and you don't have to pay attention to words. You don't have to pay attention to the writing.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, I guess I just have a lot of friends that prefer sub because they're like, when they listen to the dubbed version, they're like, oh my God, this sounds so terrible. But like, say, I have mad respect for like, who is it? Chris Sabbath and Eric Vale. Like, those two right there are like two of my favorite voice actors of all time. Well, Troy Baker's there too. You can't never deny Troy Baker. But let's see. I think I watched one of your top five. I think it was dealing with Dragon Ball. I don't know if you was that true? Do you have a Dragon
Uh,
Ball?
I have a few top fives. Probably the one you're thinking of maybe is, I don't know. Was it the cliches? Was it the top
Yeah,
five cliches?
yeah. That shit was funny. I was like, what in the world is this man doing? But I get what you're saying. So let's say you say you don't have a favorite at all right now, or totally, which is interesting because a lot of people just like default to Dragon Ball or One Piece. Like, those are the first two. I just find that interesting because a lot of you don't have it. I guess because you deal with it so much, you're like, there's no reason to have one particular one as your favorite.
There are people who will gravitate towards an anime,
Mm-hmm.
and they will go ahead and like that specific anime. One of the top 5s I'm going to be doing in the future is the type of anime fans. And there's a
Really?
whole bunch that I have to go through and narrow it down to 5, which is extremely difficult. But one of those types is a oneer or a one-off. And these people, they watch one specific anime, and that's the only one that they're obsessed with. Whether it be Naruto or One Piece or Sailor Moon or Bleach or Fairy Tail, that's the only one that exists to them.
Okay, so you're like I said, you're making a top 5 of anime. So, I mean, like
Not
anime fans.
right, anime fans. Yep.
Wow, that sounds like it can go deep.
It will go deep, and like I said, it's going to be very difficult to go ahead and narrow it down, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
I'm pretty sure you'll get it. They say that if you read manga or something, you become a dweeb or something. I don't know. I forgot the internet term, but I just think that's kind of crazy. Or like someone that likes to read anime and a gamer or something.
They're like what?
They like to game. They like to read manga. It's like something like a dweeb, but it's not a dweeb. It's not the actual word, but I can't think of the word.
What, weeb?
Yeah, is it a dweeb? Weeb.
No, weeb. A
Weeb.
weeaboo?
Weeaboo, yeah. Have you ever been called that?
Well, people joke about that all the time. But the difference between, which is another video I need to make, and I mean, people have done it before, but others want to hear my opinions on it. The difference between an anime enthusiast, an otaku, and a weeaboo. Now, a weeaboo is somebody who's extreme, and they not only watch anime, read the manga, etc., which some of them just watch the anime, or some of them just read the manga. They assume that they understand Japanese culture because of it. And they denounce their own culture.
Okay.
And because of that, they're called a weeaboo, which is more of an insult term than anything. That's what they try to. That's what a lot of people try to do. Now it's kind of thrown around, just kind of like, oh, you're a weeb, you're a weeaboo, but it really doesn't have as much of an effect as a word as it did in the past.
I wonder what.
You wonder what?
Saying, but oh, I'm sorry. It's like the thing of like, well, you're a gamer, so all you do is game, or like, what's wrong with me being a gamer? Like, what's wrong with me playing video games? Or like, what's wrong with me being a nerd? You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with it. I think people just want to make fun of people, and then not as much now, but it was just at the time, and just to have fun.
Exactly. And the
Are you there?
yeah,
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
are you still able to hear me?
Someone's internet's lagging badly today.
Uh, shit.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me still or
Yeah, I
no?
can hear you now. Are you
Yeah,
okay?
the
Like internet? Okay. Huh?
yeah, we should be good now.
Okay. But you were saying, I heard you say I agree. So,
Right. I said that I agree with that, and I also said that um it depends on your balance, your life balance. If you're the type of gamer that doesn't socialize, doesn't, get outside or at least get out of your room or wherever, and is constantly playing video games nonstop, then you're considered, a gamer geek or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the specific term that they try to insult for gamers, but that's what they go ahead and say.
hmm. Yeah, no, I get out. I have fun. I play sports. So it's like, just that term gets thrown around. It's like, oh, you do that too? I'm like, yeah. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. Let's change this up. Well, give me three anime for people to watch.
that are that are just starting, or ones that are veterans, like ones that have already started
That,
watching.
that's up to you, bro. I can't make that decision.
All right. Here's what I would recommend if you're just getting into anime. Um, the first one I would recommend is Soul Eater.
Oh, I love that series. I would recommend that too.
It has a decent length. That way, if you really get into it, which I'm pretty sure you would, that you have enough episodes to kind of last you to hold you over. Then you get into another anime which I personally enjoy. It's a little bit longer, but it's definitely good. Is Inuyasha.
I'm actually watching that right now on Netflix.
What? How far are you into it?
I'm like season two or something.
Okay, okay. So you've seen some of the characters. Um,
Yeah.
you you've seen Shishomaru already, right?
Oh yeah, Shishomaru's here. Sango's here.
Right. That's good. Uh,
Yeah.
that is a lasting anime. A lot of people are into that one too. The
How
third
long is it
one,
really?
I don't see that's one thing that, although I know a lot about anime, that's the least kind of important thing that I kind of pay attention to is the number. So
The
I don't
length?
know.
Yeah. No, the thing is though, there's only two seasons on Netflix. So I'm like, so how long is this really? I know it's longer than two seasons.
It, it goes on for a while. It's not
I
it's not
figured.
no it's not a Naruto or any anime like that, but it's a decent length.
Mm. So what else you got for us?
The last one I would recommend that is, I would think more of because it was only out maybe a few years. It's relatively new, and because of that, you have the artwork, the editing, and the voice actors, all superb, is Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul. Speaking of which, oh, I would actually show it to you, but one of my friends, no, my sister has it. But if there was something I would recommend to you, I'm just gonna go ahead and say 20th Century Boys. You ever heard of it?
Which one is it?
20th Century Boys.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
You ever heard of 20th Century Boys?
No.
It's by for my audio listeners. I'm showing random my 20th Century Boy manga. It's by Naoki Urasawa. Have you heard of him?
No.
Have you ever read Monster? I mean, Watch Monster.
I have. Yeah. So it's the same.
Yeah, same author of that. So if you like Monster, then you'll like this. What's it? My Hero Academia. Magi?
I've seen that one.
Is it complete? Is Magi over?
For now.
For now? Dang. I thought it was over. Completely.
When there is a high demand for an anime / manga, you know, the whole entire entity, usually it continues on. Usually it just keeps going and going and going. That's why Naruto has had so many episodes. Because first it went Naruto, then it went Naruto Shippuden, then it went Boruto, and now we're going the Boruto arc.
How do you feel about that?
How it keeps going on and on?
Yeah, no, but just Boruto, like the series. How do you feel like about the new series?
It's good, but because there's been so many episodes before, over 600 episodes from Naruto and Shippuden all the way up to that point, it just seems like it's like a repetitious kind of thing.
Oh.
Boruto's similar to his father, wants to be, great, and this, that, and has similar powers. And, it's cool to learn about these new characters and to see the children of the characters that you started learning about at the beginning of the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good. I like it. It's
I'm glad.
Just how it is with them.
Well, I'm glad that you like that. Now, we'll switch gears. What's your favorite movie, man? And why do you love it so much?
Favorite movie?
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I personally like Goldfinger.
Oh shit, you're a James Bond guy like me. Okay, here we go.
I'm a James Bond fan. I watched all of the movies at least, I would say, 30 to 40 times.
Now, what makes you like The Gentleman's Spy so much then? Like, just to get up.
Because it goes, screw the women, I kill you, bad guy, and I do it in style with all these cool gadgets and no cars. Like, what's not to like about that?
I mean, some people just think he's just a misogynist bastard. So.
I'm a guy. I don't care. I'm kidding. But serious, it's just that's how Fleming made him. It's just that's how it was.
Okay. Now here's a question for you because you're a Bond fan and I'm a Bond fan.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about? No.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
but like we're gonna try to have an AWOI moment into which we go deep into like talk about discussions with it, but still have fun with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like go deep into thought with it. How do you personally feel about Idris Elba becoming the next Bond?
You kind of cut out at the end.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about Idris Elba becoming the next Bond?
Um, you know what? It's
I mean, these are the questions.
well,
Huh?
hold on. I think this will be the best, my best response to this. Since you've seen, and I'm hoping you've seen all of the James Bonds.
Yeah.
Look at the character Felix Leiter.
Felix Leiter. Okay.
He has changed multiple times, and he has also been of multiple backgrounds.
Okay.
So having a James Bond be of a different race doesn't really affect it to me.
No, like I was just curious because like some people, because you've seen Ghost in the Shell, right?
Right.
So you've seen Ghost in the Shell, the movie.
I watched it. I did.
So like that's the argument that I was trying to make is like we talk about cultural appropriation so much, but how do we how can we say it's okay for Idris Elba to do that, but it's not okay for Scarlett Johansson to play that role?
Right.
It's a slippery
Because
slope. Mm-hmm.
because you have this might better clear things up. Look at the population in the England, Scotland, Ireland area.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all pale, ghostly white people. There's a mix of all different races pretty much within, that whole area. You will find all different kinds of people. So
Okay.
it's not unheard of to have a British spy be of a different background.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with when you look at the Japanese culture, you don't see Japanese people with blonde hair.
True.
Japanese people be kind of tan skin, more of a Latin American background, whether it's Mexican, Guatemalan, whatever. So should you just say, is it right or is it wrong to try to change what it actually is?
I get what you're saying. Because like what's crazy about that is that when you watch that movie, watch Ghost in the Shell, you see that the Japanese companies supported it. So it's like I don't see the problem, guys, if they supported it.
Right. And with this, they've changed a lot of the actors. They've changed a lot of the design and the development of what James Bond is, what James Bond has become. And because of that, people are expecting all of these changes. The only change that I would not personally accept is if they focused on a female James Bond.
I get, uh, go in detail with that. Enlighten me why.
The whole creation, the whole empire of James Bond was from one person, was from Ian Fleming. He
Mm-hmm.
created James Bond. He created all of these story arcs, Goldfinger, and GoldenEye and From Russia with Love, all these different stories. Many of these directors created the actual visual for it, for the books. To go ahead and say, you know what, it's always been a guy, let's change it, let's make it a female this time. It doesn't seem right.
So
It's just like saying, with Walking Dead, for instance, it's about zombies, it's also about power struggles, it's about this, it's about that, but I don't like zombies anymore, let's just change it to werewolves.
I get what you're saying. But so what's the difference compared to that and, let's say, Doctor Who?
Doctor Who, I have not watched.
Oh, you haven't watched it. Okay, that makes sense, though. I mean, it makes sense.
I understand some of the premise behind it, where time traveling and many different doctors and stuff, but I haven't watched it, so I don't understand it. I can't really give much detail about it.
I mean, I can do it because I love Doctor Who. So it's like, like new Doctor, regeneration. So it can be of any color or that's why when you see someone like Matt Smith, I mean David Tennant, who was like famous for like, which started the new empire of the Doctor Who right now.
Right.
For like him to change into Matt Smith, like to regenerate into Matt Smith, you see like Matt Smith like touch his hair, was like to make sure he's still a boy, and he's like, okay, I'm still not ginger. It's like, so the Doctor can be whoever at random. So I wonder if that's just because of writing, and they go like, okay, you fit the script, or it's just now to the point that now they see a female role, someone that like fans are demanding a female role for the Doctor. So it's like, go ahead and do it, or do we just stick to our bread and butter? You get what I'm saying? It's like one of those slippery slopes, like with the whole like James Bond, like you said, like color shouldn't matter because like Idris Elba, no matter how much you want to look at it, he is a damn good actor. Like just make him James Bond. Like fuck it.
Right. And not only that, and this is where, if you're a true James Bond fan, you have heard of this theory that not only is the number 007, but the name James Bond is associated and is just a code name.
For real, I didn't. But apparently, spoiler alert, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you haven't seen this movie, it's been out for like almost 5 years, 4 years maybe. But in Skyfall, they made it connect, though, that his name was really James Bond.
Right, with the tombstone.
Yeah.
Right, and there's also been mentions of it. And actually, if you go way back to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, when his wife died, then you have that, and then you can also look at the what was the movie?
Shit.
I'm trying to think. It's hard to remember the beginnings.
The beginnings of them. The only one I can really remember vividly is Goldfingers, because that shit was awesome as fuck.
What's the one? Maybe you'll clear it up for me. Maybe you'll remember. What's the one where James Bond starts off at a church / he starts off in a grave site visiting his wife.
Is that not Goldfinger? No, it's not.
No, that's not Goldfinger. He then gets picked up in a helicopter.
In a grave site. James Bond movies.
And then he ends up stuck in it
Doctor
because
No.
Doctor No. It's definitely not
Oh
Doctor No.
shit! I know exactly what you're talking about too. Is that
Then the helicopter is piloted by the villain, and then James Bond gets control of the helicopter, picks him
Thunderball?
up,
You're talking about
dumps him.
Thunderball, right?
Is that Thunderball?
I said Thunderball.
I said, is that's what it is? Is Thunderball?
I think you're talking about Thunderball, man.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. One of the earlier James Bond films.
I'm thinking Thunder or my bad.
Yeah, I gotta. I want to try to look that up.
You only live. It's memories. I know that much.
Helicopter.
Yo.
It's only. That's what it was. That's what I thought it was too. And I was going towards that, but I just couldn't remember it. Yeah, For Your Eyes Only. Hey,
Yo, I'm here. Wow. Okay. We're still live.
yeah,
You there?
yep.
Okay. I was saying it was You Only Live Twice.
No, it's For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only? Okay.
Yeah, you only live twice. They were in a car chase, and she calls. Aki calls for Tanaka to do a lift, to do
Okay.
a usual reception. And then they pick up the car, and then they dump the car into the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was talking about where James Bond pilots a helicopter, picks up the wheelchair and dumps him, and then he dies.
Cool. But with the backstories being said, do you not see any? You don't see any connections between any of them?
The connections between the James Bond films.
Yeah. Do you not see like one particular James Bond? Do you feel like it's different James Bonds?
That's where the theory kind of gets a little bit fuzzy. We're talking about how James Bond is actually just a code name versus a. Is that what we're going into?
Yeah. That's what we're originally going into.
Well, here's where the theory kind of breaks down. In the I'm trying to think of the first instance. I guess the first instance you see any type of name is in on Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's, I think, the earliest you ever see James Bond's name. Technically, you see Teresa Bond, and then
Okay.
the next instance you see any type of nod to his name is in um, there's a there's a there's a few instances here and there where you I guess the next one is License to Kill
A
with
License to
Timothy
Kill.
Dalton. Um, Felix Leiter and Della give James Bond, and engraved on it says to Bond, or it says like to Bond, love always, Della and Felix. I believe that's what it says. There's multiple instances throughout the series, throughout the James Bond franchise, where you see his name. He's said, or his name is said a lot, but that could also be, oh, so that's what they call him. And because his license is manipulated to say that his ID, any other form of IDs says James Bond, that's what he goes by.
Cool. So, who's your favorite James Bond?
In order from greatest to least, I like Sean Connery first. Then I like Roger Moore. Then
You said Roger Moore?
Yep, as number 2.
Okay.
I like Pierce Brosnan. Then I like Daniel Craig, George Lazenby, and then I like Timothy Dalton.
Okay, you're going to have to repeat all of that because I didn't get Roger Moore at number 2, and then that was it.
Roger Moore at number 2. Then Pierce Brosnan at number 3. Daniel Craig at number 4. George Lazenby at number 5. And Timothy Dalton at number 6.
Okay. I would have to say I just had 3. It would have to be Sean Connery, Daniel Craig, and then Roger Moore.
You didn't like Pierce Brosnan as Bond?
No, man, that shit was corny.
Really?
Hell yeah, that shit was corny as hell, man.
I would say Die Another Day was not the best one he could have done, but I liked GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies.
I mean, I like GoldenEye, the video game, but that's it. And with that being said, let's transfer over to video games. So, what are you playing right now?
Right now, the only games that I'm really focusing on is Overwatch and League.
Why Overwatch and League? Those sounds like they're not both Blizzard games, but like, are you a PC gamer more?
Well, Overwatch I have on PlayStation, and League is on PC.
Of course, but why only Overwatch?
I've played other games. I've played Black Ops. I've played a good mix of games. I've played Destiny. I've played GTA, and I don't know. It's just Overwatch is fun.
I mean, like, people are playing it. I like Overwatch too, but I'm just curious what you're saying that it's one of your pastime games. Pretty much, it's like you casually play it. Why is that the only game? There's more.
I casually play the Call of Duty games. I play some of the old school games too.
Mm. So
old school games.
So why not play? Okay, what would you recommend me to play? Because like that's one of the things I do is like I see what you like and I'll play it. What would you recommend that's old?
If you don't mind playing an emulator, I mean, getting back into the Atari days, getting back into uh, Galaga and Dig Dug and Asteroids and Tempest. All these different games were either on the Atari or were right around the time of Atari.
Mm.
Have you played some of those games before?
Yeah, play them when I was a kid. Those are good. But that being said, then, Ev.
Well, right now I just have a PS4 and a PS1.
Okay, like you said, PS4. Why PS4?
The ability to play Blu-rays. Unfortunately, Microsoft picked wrong. They were thinking that the HD DVD was going to be the big hit. That system versus the Blu-ray.
But you realize that the Xbox One X is coming out, and that's the most powerful console out, right?
Once that one comes out, then it's gonna change up a whole bunch of stuff.
What? What? Okay, but what's it going to change in your opinion?
People go for the best technology. Many people look at the features of the technology that they're getting, the system that they're getting. How fast is it going to be? What quality can it produce? Whether it's going to be in 4K, 8K, whatever the newest K is going to be. And what other extra features will it be able to have? The more features a system has, the more bells and whistles it has, the better it can perform with sales.
Well, but what I'm saying is, by you saying that Xbox messed up with not having Blu-ray, that's wrong because they do have Blu-ray discs. So I don't know if it would just like you had a PlayStation 1, and I was telling you, right, well, I'll just get the PS4. That's all I was curious about.
Well, I had the PS1, and then I had the PS2, and then I got the Xbox 360, and then I switched over to the PS4. You had the Xbox One and you had the PS4. When both of them were released, I had a little bit of distrust for Microsoft because of what they were trying to pull, what they were trying to do.
Yeah, but they've learned from those mistakes and they went back and changed it. So,
right after they realized that they royally screwed up, making people or forcing people to use the camera, forcing people to constantly be connected to the internet, and not allowing people to share any games.
yeah, but they did that all right after E3, though. So I don't know if you saw that or.
Right. No, I saw the changes, but with a company as big as Microsoft, where they could probably lose millions and you can go ahead and say, oh, no, we were just kidding. We dropped all those changes that you guys hated. And then everybody buys them. And then all of a sudden, they can, at any point in time, just switch it right back.
I mean, why don't you have the Nintendo Switch then? Because it makes it seem. Because, like, the Switch is a good console.
The Switch is definitely a good console, but the release of it, I didn't have any money. So I just don't have it.
So, you think you'll pick one up for this Christmas?
If I can straighten some stuff out with my finances stuff, yes, I do want it. I have liked Nintendo exclusive, whether it be Zelda or Mario type games.
Mm-hmm.
Fan of them.
But like, why not Metroid?
Metroid 2. It's just those are just the big ones that I just thought of off the top of my head.
No, like some people like that's a question that is being thrown around. It's like, why is Metroid not as loved as Zelda or Mario? So
Metroid became popular because of the structure. It was one of the newer games, and the way that you played that specific game, the way you played Metroid, was different than the way you played Mario, the way you played Zelda. Zelda was an adventure, bird's eye view type game. Mario was just side scroller, quickly go through the game kind of thing. And Metroid, although you kind of have to go quick, it's more of a battle, go through / adventure type game.
which is good because like I love Zelda and I love Mario and I love Metroid. Well, actually, I can't say I love Metroid because I'm just not getting into the series. I have the 3DS Samus Returns. It's fantastic. I missed out on it as a kid, but as you know, like growing up, you might not have been able to play as many video games or stuff like that. So for me now to go back to be able to play some of these games, it's really cool. Sense to you.
Right.
You there?
Yep.
So, I just see a lot of influential games now that I appreciate more. So, like a dear friend of mine, shout out to Recency Bias Radio, he introduced me to The Witcher. Play it like for fuck the yeah, really good game. I suggest you check it out. It's for PS4. Really good game. You'll like if you like the story based games and like being able to travel wherever you want. You're pretty much playing the game of this generation because, in all honesty, Zelda Breath of the Wild is a new generation. So I think you should check that out because it was really good and like there's so much to do and it's really influential. You get to see how you want the character to play out, how you want Geralt of Rivia to play out, how you want the story to end because it has so many different endings. And I would suggest that to anybody because like this year, like you know what role playing games are, RPGs, Final Fantasy. Like this year, I played not Final Fantasy, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, which is actually for the PS4. You should check that out if you like redheads, machines. It's all the good stuff in there. But those are games that you can appreciate at some point in time. But The Witcher is just like nothing touches it. Like I know you say Overwatch is good because it was the game of the year last year, but 2015 belonged to The Witcher, and I think you should really check that out.
I've played it before.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
The Witcher 3?
What's that?
The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I've gotten into the Witcher series.
Did you beat it?
No, not yet. I just haven't had the chance to go ahead and do that.
I'm telling you, bro, you would really, really love it and enjoy it. And like you said, like if you get a Switch, I would go ahead and get Breath of the Wild and Mario. Just think. Bruh. Those two games, you won't have to get another game. You won't even look at Overwatch for a while.
That's kind of hard to say because with the Switch, you're basically playing a single player game. I mean, you can interact and do some other stuff, but with Overwatch, it's, hey, I can hook up with my friends and then we could go kick butt.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you got Call of Duty coming out, you got Battlefield, and so I'm surprised you don't play that.
Which, Call of Duty and Battlefield?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've played them.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Like, I just want to see if your gaming experience is. You said you vary, so I'm just like, okay, let's see what games you actually played. So,
I have played a wide genre of games. The only ones that I really have not just done or played a bunch of is the sports games. You know, although I like football and everything, I don't just go, oh, I got to get the newest Madden game or the newest,
you
basketball
don't need to get the newest Madden game. This,
or the newest football or the new any of those games.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now. Adding game story mode is hot, so that's the only thing I would care about. But if you don't want to waste $60 on that, I understand. But if you can get it for 30, so just saying.
I like the games that can last a while. Thing that I look for when it comes to games now is either a game that I could just play by myself and it has a lot of engaging things where it's just myself, or a game where it mainly focuses on multiplayer.
Oh yeah. So you say multiplayer? I didn't hear the last part. Okay. So why not? No, no, I get what you're saying because like you wouldn't be able to do a lot of stuff by yourself if not.
Right.
So why not check out Destiny 2?
Destiny 2 is on my hit list. Is on my watch list.
Because that's like everyone's favorite game to play. You talk about League of Legends. How come you don't play PUBG? PUBG? Player Unknown Battlegrounds?
Uh, nope.
You've never played that? You've never heard of it? Player Unknown Battlegrounds, PUBG. It's on the computer, so I'm thinking you know.
I've heard of it. Have I played it? No.
Oh, well, I was just saying that might be something you would want to check out.
I can add that one to my list too.
I mean, it's in beta, it's free, so I was
Right.
just saying, is it?
Right. There's a bunch of games that are coming out, have recently come out, or have been out for a little while that I've added to my list, and that one of them, but I can definitely put it on my list now.
Yeah, it's like PUBG is like the game. Have you heard of Fortnite?
No.
It's pretty much like in beta form, and it's like a comparison to what Player Unknown is. But everybody knows Player Unknown's good. It just like Fortnite's just a little less. But
Gotcha.
yeah, it's really good to hear that somebody says understand knows what they want. Like when it comes to like anime or your movie, like your movie selection actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting James Bond, but you said something about football. You said you love it. Like right
Well,
now, huh?
I don't like football, but I do enjoy it.
No, I'm just saying you like football. Like there's nothing wrong with liking football. Like
Right.
you're from the Jersey area. I'm pretty sure you're either a New York Jet or a New York Giant fan. You might
I'm a Giant
be.
fan.
Oh yeah, you're a Giant fan. But I'm just saying this because, like, we'll end with this topic about or not standing for a national anthem.
Um,
You personally,
the the way I feel about that is if, let's say, somebody decided to just lie down, kneel, sit, lie down, do anything but just stand. Why not cut them out of every single last highlight, footage, photo, etc.? They do not exist.
what do you mean?
Instead, instead the media portrays it as a horrible thing, a freak out, and it changes a lot of people's opinions.
Oh,
But my opinion on the whole matter is it a sign of full disrespect? Well, since you're being paid a hell of a lot of money to entertain people, I think you kind of owe it to the people, to the fans, to just do one simple thing: stand and do that for the national anthem.
true, but at the same time, the problem with that, what you said is like you realize it's actually more respectful to take a knee than anything else because in football, like because I played for 4 years, the one thing you do when someone goes down, like on the field, is you take a knee. So it makes more sense to me for someone to take a knee, and everything that's going on in this country right now, it makes sense for us to kneel stand because like at the end of the day, they're not saying it because like we don't want to stand. We just look at their president who just calls us sons of bitches. Like, so we're not going to take it. We're not going to stand for that. Like as a person, and also with that statement, what you're saying is like it's kind of hard because like, are you going to say Muhammad Ali is wrong for what he did back in the '60s? You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, no Viet Cong killed me, so I'm not going to go over there and fight. People,
It's
people adored Muhammad Ali still, regardless.
with everything that is going on, there are people who will always disagree with you, whatever it is. Now, if the norm is to stand, or if it's to kneel, or if it's to sit, like whatever it might be, then that should be the standard. That should be the thing that everybody just does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody's saying that every single fan should end up being, standing and not moving or not doing anything. Because I've seen it plenty of times because I work at a baseball stadium where people go, they still buy their food, they still do this, they still do that. But the players, whatever country they're from, because we have some teams from Canada, from Dominican, and from Cuba. And whether it's their own anthem or our anthem, they're standing, they have their hats off, you know, both sides give that kind of respect. And when you're dealing with a mix of cultures, a mix of diversity and background, you want to do the most neutral or culturally accepted thing possible. And by every single game, everybody just knows, stand, take off your hats, take off for this, whatever, do the anthem, and then you're able to resume to whatever position you want to. What's the big deal? What's the issue with doing that simple thing?
The problem is that not even a problem. It's just that people aren't viewing that others are exercising their First Amendment right, and that's the problem in the situation.
But why?
We're actually. Hmm?
But why is it that if I pay an actor in a movie like $2 million or $5 million to do a specific role, if I tell them do this, 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 and this, well, that is what I pay them to do. That is their job. So now it's the same
Yeah.
thing like football, with baseball, with any of these other sports. All these fans are paying buku amounts of money to go see, or they're paying high subscription services and all these extra packages and stuff to watch their favorite teams. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And why, and just say, I think I should try to be different and try to make controversy and try to, you're being paid so much more money than a lot of these people are getting paid. So at least just,
because they're still human beings and they still see the everyday struggles of everybody else.
but why,
So
but why is
because we look towards athletes for everything. Some of our favorite heroes, my favorite player right now is Cam Newton. He didn't even
okay?
he stood. So he stood. Colin Kaepernick, who went to the Super Bowl II, said that he didn't agree with how the election was going, so he took a knee. And then, with that being said, you have articles like this where the NAACP comes to the NFL and says, okay, we want to make sure that he's not getting a job because of his actual ability on the field and not for him being punished for taking a knee. Now, when articles like that come out, you have to be wary because at the end of the day, they're still human, and at the same time, they're athletes. Because let's just say if Tom Brady took a knee, okay, he's aware, he's raising awareness that he doesn't like what's going on in America. But if he still takes his team to the Super Bowl and he wins, you're still going to respect him even more.
It's here's my best argument for this whole entire thing, which might be able to clear up a lot of.
It's not an argument. This is really just conversation. So
right, but all right, the argument in general, not just what we're talking about, but what people are debating right now. You're saying, and what a lot of people say is, oh, it's human rights, it's First Right Amendment, it's this, it's that. There is one very important job where they do not have the rights to do a lot of things which the Constitution says they're allowed to do, and that's teachers. They're not allowed to strike and protest. They're really not supposed to be able to speak out or do anything of that nature, which you're breaking First Amendment right. You're breaking, I think, the Fourth Amendment right. You're breaking like so many amendments that are, right at the beginning, right? The bill. So they don't have a choice. Now, with these athletes, sure, they might have a choice because they might not get fired or whatever, but teachers are outright told, you cannot protest. If you protest, goodbye. You lose your job.
Right. But that's
Whereas,
a different setting, though.
what?
That's technically a different setting because I know a lot of teachers are like actually approve of what some of these people are doing. Some of these athletes are doing.
But with these athletes, the athletes, I feel, are just, they should do it in a different setting. I feel that the setting that they're trying to make a statement is inappropriate.
The
People,
only time you're going to see them is on Sundays. So
but but when you go to a game, you don't want, oh, here's another person trying to do a political statement. Here's another person trying to say, I hate Trump, or I hate this, or I hate that. Or, oh, it's another person that says, oh, this is my religion and your religion's different, so I'm disagreeing with you. They're trying to make us think about something, which is fine. However, keep it away from the game that you're being paid to do. You're the entertainment. You're not the, oh, now we're going to turn this into politics. If you
the
are,
way we stop all this is by telling Trump not to call his sons of bitches, and we won't have this problem, right?
if that's how it is, then that's how it is.
I mean, like technically, I don't think anybody was gonna kneel until he said that. So it's like, huh? Okay, bro, we'll do something you don't like, which
If
is
they
fine.
if the players wanted to make a statement, all they had to do was boycott playing and boycott, something specific, whether it's an event, press conference, whatever. Or better yet, use the press conference as a political statement to, that's how you get it out. Not, oh, now it's time to play football, I'm going to make a statement.
Well, they did that afterwards, though. They made their statement after they played. So they kneeled, they played, and then they made their statements.
Right, but get rid of the kneeling entirely. Like, don't do it during the game. I'm not saying like as it's like second quarter or anything like that. I'm talking about once the anthem starts and they do the announcements and everything, the game has started. That's what my opinion is. The game has started. So that's where you got to be on your best behavior, no matter how disagreeing you are of whether you're in a different stadium and you disagree with the people, or you disagree with the president of your country, or you disagree with any of the laws that come into play, or whatever it is that you're disagreeing with. You need to be a professional and do it during your own time, not during the time when, people are coming for the show.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, how do you feel? I guess this is a hot topic. Last one, because
Go ahead.
I gotta wrap up. I gotta work in the
Right.
morning. How do you feel about PewDiePie's statement?
PewDiePie, you can go ahead and say any word or phrase you want because of our First Amendment right. If you are under those laws and are a citizen to where you have those rights. However, when it comes to language that is meant to be derogatory, hurtful, demeaning, etc., we need to consider that as being more of a hate speech than just an accident, just a whoops, it slipped out.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so like you're saying, like there's a pretty much you can exercise a right, but then again, there's a certain limit to it. Things you don't say.
There are several groups. There's several groups of people, and I mean this is opening up a can of worms. But there's several groups of people who have specific speeches about specific people, and I'm trying to be as generic as possible. That way, I don't say anything. Can they be arrested for the language that they are using? No. Because it's just language. It's words. And they're allowed to, they have the right to say those words. Does it make them right? No. Can you go ahead and say that if a specific hate group uses a racial slur, and then a news reporter in the news quotes one of those people and uses that racial slur, just because they're reporting the news, they're telling you exactly what's happening, exactly what's going on, are they then at fault?
No, because they're reporting what happened. I get that,
right.
But
they're just saying, here's the source, here's what we're quoting. We're not, changing up words or paraphrasing. This is actually what was said. In like PewDiePie's case, he was saying the word in anger. He was trying to make it more of like an insult kind of thing. Whether, in his opinion, it was like a joking kind of manner, he is a big public figure, or even small public figures, or, small-time people. If they go ahead and they try to use any type of, derogatory word in a hateful way, kind of like a put you down or pick me up, then it's wrong.
and then it's wrong. I get what you're saying. I was just making sure because it kind of cuts off. But so with that being said, how did you feel when you heard it? You were just like, okay, you don't say that, or
PewDiePie has made a lot of different things and said a lot of different things that has become more of a norm for him. Accepting as it is PewDiePie's at it again. Nothing's really changed. Sure, he's lost some sponsorships, but he has the biggest YouTube channel. He still gets views. He still gets sponsorships. He's still making a hell of a lot of money. Nothing's really changed. Is he untouchable? No, but it's PewDiePie being PewDiePie.
Then how did, like, you kind of didn't answer the question. So how do you feel as a YouTuber trying to get started, or like already in your mix of it? How do you handle it? How do you try to stay away from saying derogatory terms like that?
It's all about YouTube is a platform. People who want to be an entertainer. And the way you entertain people depends on you. When I go ahead and I entertain people, I have a certain code of conduct and a certain way that I run things. I might have the occasional curse word slip in, but I don't use it often. And I definitely stay away from using any type of derogatory words. It just comes from practice and from, you know, planning it out and thinking about it ahead of time.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm just curious because, like, as you are a YouTuber, I'm just making sure. Now, not for me, but for the listeners, what advice would you give to those that are just trying to start streaming or become a YouTuber?
Becoming a YouTuber or becoming a streamer, I will give the most basic advice. That way I can keep it nice and short. One, you have to shell out a decent amount of money on your equipment. If you have bad equipment, people notice it right away, whether your mic is bad, your computer is bad, software editing, or your camera, depending upon what you're doing. So make sure you get some decent equipment. I'm not saying spend $10,000, but I'm also not saying, you know, just go to your local shop and go, oh, there's a webcam that films some video of sort. Let me use that. You know, unfortunately, becoming it's not some easy peasy thing where you just go, oh, I could do it with like no budget and just start it up and it's easy. If you're doing it for the fun of it, which is what the majority of people do, have a specific schedule and also have a specific topic, general collection of topics. The more focused you are, the more likely you are to get an audience. Me focusing mainly on anime on my YouTube channel allows people to check out my channel and see that I'm focusing mainly on anime, and if they like anime too, then that is why they should, you know, stick around.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, do you have any questions for me?
I think with what our conversations have been, you pretty much answered any of the questions that I would think of for you at the moment.
Oh, really? I mean, shoot, I always go like, "Yo, this is open forum. Anybody can say anything. You got any questions? Go ahead."
No, I mean I think we covered a lot of stuff.
For real, man. And where can we find you at?
I will go ahead and get a link, but if you search up MrCompleteRandom on YouTube, right now I have about 650 subscribers, and I upload at least 2 videos a week. So that is where you could find me, or you could look up my Twitter account, MrCompleteRandom, and I am the only one on there. So you could search me up both ways.
It's good talking with you, Mr. Random. And I am your host, Perry. This has been episode 22 of AWOI. We just came out of an AWOI moment. Like, that was really deep. Some really good topics. So you get what I'm saying with that? You go deep to come back out to learn some more. You go deep to come back out. So, and you can find me at Agent Platypus 23 on Twitter. And like, this has been episode 22. If you like it, please leave a review. It really helps us understand like what you like and what you not. We'll get back into the gaming next week when Mr. Dave Smith comes to rock the show with me. As we're getting ready for the Xbox One X and Mario and games, of course. Just a little slide away, of course, getting back into the groove of things. I took a personal break of like 2 months up because I got a new laptop and stuff. But please leave a review. It's on iTunes. It'll be on YouTube. And I hope you guys like it. Thank you. Once again, Mr. Random.
Have a good one, guys.